Ladies and gentlemen, this will be the second video for this class for this week, for week 4. So you will see here at this one, I'm just going over to make this initial, the final announcement about these initial statements on the prior weeks. Week 4 overview will be posted above this one. You guys will see this as an additional file for the week. Don't always do this, but I wanted to reiterate these points. Updated communication policy, and I have two different ones between two different classes, but they both apply here now, discussion boards, and with that on the policy for the other class. I got a couple of issues where I've had students, and let me switch back to your page. There we go, and there we go. Where students, I've had some issues where students on communications, submissions, formats, and discussion board things. I have some students in this section, not most. Most students have engaged. I have some students who have not posted discussion board things. I have students who have posted their own things to discussions, but have not done anything to respond to a classmate. Problematic there, right? You're going to get partial credit, but the peer review forum doesn't help if you're not actually going through those. Communications, remember the instant messaging envelope at top, that's the messaging for the course. The submissions of formats, Microsoft Word is required. It is not this is also something that was covered beforehand for anyone who took an online only course. You're online only and asynchronous. You had to pass through that college, that readiness course before registering for these. That explained all of this. So if you just skimmed through and clicked through the different pages and didn't read the content or listen to that video when you were doing the pre-registry, guided self-placement is supposed to be you at least following those recommendations and requirements. And as far as I can tell, I have 4 or 5 students in the class who either do not belong in here or certainly didn't prepare beforehand coming into an online only course. I've had issues with communication, not sending me messages here, but still sending me sloppily composed and emails that also do not follow any of the requirements to give me course and section number and those things. Remember, this is the mode of communication that's been stated since week 1 here. And for those students adhering to it, I'm communicating back and forth on a nearly daily basis. Okay, the formatting on the files, I make no changes to that. That is the institution-wide, and most of your industry-wide is Microsoft Word because they guarantee the compatibility with the software platforms. Okay, I also note now that we're going through memoir submissions, and I don't want this to be a regular thing in here and have to be something that I give in overviews every week. But submissions, those of you changing file formats on the memoir summary outline, you're making it very difficult on us by changing those formats. One of the reasons we keep those in the curriculum is that those can't be put through ChatGPT, and the only way that you can fill those out successfully, for instance, in this document itself, where you guys had the summary outline and you guys accessed the documents through here, you went through this course file, and you look down here at the different content, you guys get to this template that you're supposed to fill out at the bottom. This was supposed to be opened, filled out, and submitted. Following these instructions at the top, I have a third of the class that did not follow these instructions. Just simply reading these. And it's covered on the other instructional videos, 2 of them from last week. Summary here. And then you, explicitly stated, are supposed to write in at least 1 sentence in each of these. Some students did. I had, it still is the majority of students did this correctly, but you were supposed to remove this lead-in thesis and write yours there and give me statements in this opening. Problem is, I have students who just either didn't fill this in or they wrote an entire paragraph here. When I see an entire paragraph here, rather than doing what was instructed, of just putting your statements there, it indicates to us that the student did this because they don't know the dissemination difference between these different categories of information. And so when you use ChatGPT that writes an intro paragraph for you, you just copy and paste that into this spot because you don't know how to break it up between these categories. So that stands out, folks. That stands out a great deal. And with the number of ChatGPT and generative AI, including the Grammarly, which you're not allowed to use, don't try the excuse that you've used just Grammarly. That's not how it works. Grammarly has generative AI now. It does the same thing for you, and many people are simply relying on that to rewrite portions of the essay for them. Not doing a grammar edit check. It's rewriting portions for you to significant degrees that constitutes academic dishonesty. Please don't make these mistakes. Many of my colleagues are now moving to a zero tolerance policy where they will simply, overall, just fail the student from the course, one time and out. I'm doing a fail of assignment. I'm not giving any exceptions or anything. If you're flagged with the system and I determine based off of other items like this that you are not following the academic protocols, I will simply fail you on the assignment, send it off to the dean. You can deal with that. And if it happens a second time, then I do have you fail the course. All right? Please make sure you folks are following these instructions and paying attention to these things. For this slightly offset portion of my online courses, I do have some students who are on a different pace on here for the other setup on the class. So I have a 12-week arrangement and that started at 1 week and another week. So the reason I'm making the distinction between these two is we're slightly off on the pacing between two of the courses right now, just in case you're listening in one versus the other. This is covering a review of these because in the overview video for the week, this won't be restated. Make sure that you've read these and listened to that submission communications audio that I put there about these different issues. It included communication for the course, the envelope at top, submissions that you're putting in, the formats must be Word, and don't use ChatGPT or any other generative AI. Okay? Make sure that you're actually doing these. Do not submit published documents, PDFs. I need Word documents back to me. If you guys in either class of these ones listed here, A1, 2, 3, 2, or 3, 5, have any of these things that you're doing, missing discussion boards and those. These things are all on you. You signed up for the course as an individual standalone. You're supposed to be able to adhere to those things and follow those protocols. And the course schedule down below, these things have been covered every week and your overviews are here. It's very clear that some of the students in these courses between the A1232 and this one here with the A1235, it's becoming an issue in both, slightly more in 3.2 than 3.5. But please, folks, you have to do all these different things. You got to follow these along each week. This is the 3.5, so make sure with these. So make sure you're following, watching the overviews, and submitting on time. And remember, you have to actually follow all those protocols for each one of the assignments. Okay? Hopefully I don't have to leave another one of these additional messages in weeks ahead.